The other day I was working on a new project. Just working on the use of mindfulness in kind of healthy eating. And just reading around it and working on it. And the day just kind of gradually spiraled to chaos. And it made me think of this story, and this story really helped me on that day, because you'll see why. But I heard this story first from this man called Alan Watts, who is described himself as a philosophical entertainer. So he used to give these talks. He'd give them completely off the cuff in huge lecture halls in America, and he would talk about Eastern religions and philosophies and ways of life. At various times, he was a priest, a Christian priest, and I think he was ordained a Zen monk as well. But he had a real affinity towards Zen, and I listened to lots and lots of his talks over the years. And one particular story um, came up the other day when this day was kind of, everything seemed to be going wrong. Um, you may have heard of it, but the way he tells it, it's the story of a Chinese farmer, and this farmer has a horse, and the horse runs away one day, and his neighbors come and commiserate with him, and say what an awful thing it is that his horse has run away. It's terrible, because that was his livelihood. And the farmer said, maybe. And then the next day, the horse returned, but with three or four wild horses in tow. And these horses seemed to want to hang around with the farmer's horse, and stay on his land. So the neighbors gathered and congratulated him and said, "Wow, that's amazing! Look, now you had one horse, and now you have four or five horses. This is incredible." And the farmer said, "Yeah, maybe." So the farmer had his son go and break the wild horses, so that they could use them around the farm. And while riding one of these horses, the son was thrown and landed badly and broke his leg. And the neighbors kind of gathered round and commiserated and said, "Oh, that's really terrible. Your son has broken his leg. He won't be able to work for ages. You know, it's going to be tough." And the farmer said, "Yeah, maybe." The very next day, the conscription officer from the army came, because there was a big war going on to take the young men of fighting age. And they rejected the farmer's son because of his broken leg. And because of that, the farmer's son didn't have to go to war. And the neighbors came that night, their own sons being taken off to war, and said, "Wow, that's amazing. Wow, your son wasn't taken to war." And the farmer said, "Yeah, maybe." So, I mean, the story's moral, or the story's meaning, is quite evident. I mean, you can look at any misfortune or any good fortune in life and not really understand the true ramifications of it. And the way Watts put it, nature is so complex and beyond our understanding that we really don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know whether something good is going to lead to more good, or something bad is going to lead to more bad, or vice versa. We just don't know. So our job really is to stop judging everything that happens as good or bad. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's really difficult when you're in the midst of doing some work and something just throws you completely off. You kind of, you can instantly react with annoyance. Or when you're just minding your own business and suddenly you win some money, or you come across a £10 note on the ground, wow, that's really fortunate. But you can instantly jump to happiness, and kind of, it's what meditation will give you. That's kind of the promise of it, that the practice is noticing your minute to minute thoughts and not judging them, noticing what comes up, memories, feelings, thoughts, even ideas, and not immediately running away with amazing ones or running away from awful ones. Just noticing them and treating them all as just equal. They're just happening. And like I say, it's not easy. It takes practice. That's kind of, I think, why practices like this exist. That's why God has a plan in your Abrahamic religions, or why the Buddhists kind of try to just see what's happening without emotional attachment and without judgment. You know, I think for centuries, for millennia, humans have known that a practice that teaches us that there is no good and no bad, there is just happening, is potentially really, really powerful. And I know it has helped me, and it helped me the other day, and it has helped me ever since I found these practices. So maybe it's worth giving them a go.